Hey everybody, welcome back to another video review. I just finished doing one of Aladdin and Jasmine from A Whole New World, titled A Whole New World. And I figured I would also finish it off by showing you a pretty rare Walt Disney Classics Collection piece. This is of Jasmine as sort of the temptress. It's titled Daring Distraction, and it's from the Walt Disney Classics Collection Leading Ladies series. I don't know the background or why they were going to do this. I think they were just kind of looking for different things to highlight, and they wanted to take some of the main female characters from the Disney movies, especially from that era, and then make nice porcelain pieces of them. They're not very elaborate. They're basically just one piece. The bases are not very elaborate. There's not multiple characters interacting. It's just them in a very kind of iconic pose from a moment in their movies. I think there was also one of is it Meg from Hercules. There's one of Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. A couple others as well, and almost uniformly those pieces were became pretty rare. None of them were numbered, so this is not numbered, not like the gold circle pieces, for instance, or the signature series pieces. But they were all, they didn't make them in a large number of quantities. And so over time, as they stopped producing them, they all became very, very sought after and very, very expensive. You wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at her, for instance, but in the secondary market, this Jasmine is worth about double what A Whole New World is now worth, which is pretty crazy. But here she is. This is, of course, from the part of Aladdin where she has to sort of distract Jafar while Aladdin's trying to sneak into the throne room or whatever, and she has to pretend to essentially fall in love with him, and she even goes so far as to kiss him, which is, talk about taking one for the team, She's, you can see, dressed very provocatively. You could argue that even her, blue turquoise costume was a little bit provocative with sort of the open belly button. But this one's like kind of taking it to the next level. You can see kind of quite a bit of cleavage. She's essentially, her chest and her belly button is completely exposed. She's sort of depicted a lot more sexily. And that's one of the things that the live action Aladdin sort of did away with to sort of conform to more modern sensibilities and be more four-quadrant family friendly. But I remember being pretty surprised seeing this even when I was a teenager in high school at sort of the sensual depiction of Jasmine near the end of it, near the end of that movie. And sort of the shock of having her basically kiss Jafar. So again, this was a pretty daring, they call this daring distraction, but it's also pretty daring for Disney to, create a piece of her. And so the so-called slave Jasmine in her slave dress is always pretty high in demand and, pretty rare. A part of it just because, again, she's sexy, she's very seductive. It's a look that not very many Disney heroines get to basically showcase. And also just it's very, very rare for that reason to ever see Jasmine depicted like this. Obviously later on, the Disney company had a change of heart about the way they portrayed her. And so you really don't see this version marketed, sold as dolls or toys. There's a Disney limited edition doll of Slave Jasmine a couple years ago that is also very, very expensive, very, very in demand for the same reason. But getting to just the quality of the statue itself, this is amazing. Getting really close up, very beautiful face, different from A Whole New World and different from her normal depiction in the classic blue costume. There's a lot of sort of gold paint accents, especially the earrings and the crown, her arm bangle with the snake. Remember, this is the getup that Jafar puts her in to sort of serve him. So it's going to be very skimpy. It's going to have his snake motifs. Unlike the other one, I'm going really, really close. I don't see any crazing on this piece. So I'm happy about that. I'm so close you can actually see the little bit of dust actually, on the hairline here and all that. But in any case, very, very nice. You can see she still has this little sultry, confident walk. She's about to sort of sashay seductively to approach Jafar, so it's captured very nicely. And this is sort of her, I don't know what that is, like her cloak or her cape or something like that, that she just sort of throws to the ground as she's walking toward him to again distract him. So I love the pose, sort of love the attention to detail, love the costume, the color of it. This is just a great piece. And again, I think it was being sold initially for, I think $120, maybe less than that, very cheap. And now it's worth 7 to 8 times as much, believe it or not. It can go for as much as 4 digits, which is pretty shocking. I was fortunate enough to obtain this one from a French collector. She's a lady, again, who happened to get it, and sadly, I think she's off Facebook now. I don't know what became of her, but I'm just very grateful that she sold it to me for a not unreasonable price. It took the time to package and box her carefully, and they made it to me in one piece. So I have the original green box as well as the certificate of authenticity. So pretty pleased about that. And again, this is Daring Distraction from the Disney Leading Ladies series. Once again, a very, very rare piece. So hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of background in this video review. This does it for my Aladdin pieces. Again, I'm not a big Aladdin fan. These are all the Aladdin Walt Disney Classics collection pieces I have, but I think I got the 2 best ones. So until next time, do take care.